If Lonesome Dove is not the greatest Western of all time, I want you to look in your history and tell me what's better. This four-part miniseries with a cast that up-and-coming players and veterans were led by Robert Duvall as Augustus Gus McCrae in his ongoing battle against Blue Duck for the hand of a fallen woman or a soiled dove is so relevant still 36 years after its release. Everybody goes to on YouTube and there's nothing to watch on television. That's what I'm doing today. Based on the book of the same name by Larry McMurtry that was published 40 years ago, this epic Western adventure TV miniseries directed by Simon Wincher. It is a four-part adaptation of the first novel in the series, the Lonesome Dove series. The novel is based upon a screenplay by Peter Bogdanovich and McMurtry. The miniseries stars an ensemble cast headed by Robert Duvall as Augustus McCrae and Tommy Lee Jones as Woodrow Call, sort of like eternal platonic life partners. Only Jay and Silent Bob was better. The series was originally broadcast by CBS from February 5th to 1989, drawing a huge viewing audience, earning numerous awards, and reviving both the television western and the miniseries. An estimated 26 million homes, including 3 million in Canada, tuned in to watch Lonesome Dove, unusually high numbers at the time for both a western and a miniseries. By the show's end, it had earned huge ratings and virtually revamped the entire 89-90 TV season. A favorite with audiences as well as critics, Lonesome Dove garnered many honors and awards. At the 89 Emmys, the miniseries had 18 nominations and 7 victories, including one for director Simon Wincher. Lonesome Dove also won 2 Golden Globes for Best Miniseries and Best Actor in the Miniseries by Robert Duvall. So here we have the players, and it's very, very, very deep. Oscar winner Robert Duvall, Oscar winner Tommy Lee Jones, Danny Glover, Diane Lane, Robert Urich, Frederic Forrest, the Evil Blue Duck, D.B. Sweeney, Ricky Schroeder, Angelica Houston, Chris Cooper, Glenn Headley, Barry Corbin, William Sanderson, Steve Buscemi, Nina Shamasco, Larry Flaherty, and Bud Shark. Now, the original novel was based upon a screenplay they had co-written with Bogdanovich for a movie that was intended to star John Wayne as Call, James Stewart as Gus, and Henry Fonda as Jake Spoon. But the project collapsed when John Ford advised Wayne to reject the script. Now, it's a 4-part episode. The best, of course, is part 2. Part 1 is Leaving, where they are encouraged by a comrade of Gus and Call, Jake Spoon. He reveals that he's a fugitive after he had accidentally shot the dentist and mayor of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Jake's glowing description of Montana during the speech about his return inspires Call to gather a herd of cattle and horses and drive to there, attracted by the notion of settling pristine country. Now on the trail, you have a few losses as the young Irishman that befriends the Ricky Schroeder character succumbs to his numerous snake bites during a water crossing. Now, while traveling through a forest in East Texas, Roscoe encounters Janie, a young girl fleeing from an old abusive owner. As they travel together, they are robbed, while luckily Sheriff Johnson happens to catch up with them. Meanwhile, July Johnson's wife Elmira arrives by boat in Bend Fords, Colorado. It sets off overland across the plains, with 2 hunters interested in her following. So the dentist that was shot by Jake Spoon, the sheriff of the community, is on the trail looking for Jake, not knowing that Jake has inspired the Lonesome Dove crew to head north. Now Gus and Call eventually head to San Antonio in search of a new cook. They soon find Poe Campo, who gets a job impressing Gus and Call, not only with his cooking but also with his attitude. Now, the problem is Laurie, which is played by the luminous Diane Lane, instigates a confrontation with the evil Blue Duck, played by Frederic Forrest, robbed of the Emmy, no doubt. Now, Laurie is the soul dove of Lonesome Dove that everybody fell in love with. But when Gus catches up with Laurie, whom Jake has abandoned to go gambling in Austin, before he returns, Gus and Laurie encounter Blue Duck, a notorious Mexican Indian bandit from Gus and Call's Ranger days. After Gus sends Newt over to Laurie's camp to guard her, Blue Duck knocks Newt unconscious, kidnaps Laurie, and in a series of politically incorrect incidents, attempts to sell barter her. Their gang of Comanche bandits camped on the Llano Estacado. Now, knowing that Gus is in pursuit, Blue Duck asks the Comancheros to kill Gus when he arrives, while Laurie being the reward. Gus and the bandits engage in a brief gun battle that quickly turns into stalemate. Gus, having killed his horse to cover on the flat plains, is pinned down by the bandits' gunfire until nightfall. So as the battle with Blue Duck continues, you can see how this is going to process. This is not going to end well for the travelers because they've already lost one person. Jake Spoon has basically took off. But I want to talk about the importance of the McMurtry plot as it appeals to the confrontations within. There's many plots and mini-plots going on in here. But the fact is, the Robert Duvall character is the good ranger, while Tommy Lee Jones's character is the soil ranger. And they're all the main characters are either loyal to Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones' character, including Diane Lane's character, or have rejected it, like the Robert the Uric character. Now, ironically, ladies and gentlemen, it was a bigger hit internationally in different languages. And I really think at 384 minutes, it's a quick, what do you think, a 6.5 hour movie is a quick watch. Did you know it only cost $20 million to make? That would be $1 billion movie in 2025. Now, February 5th to 8th, 89 was a dead zone of TV. And again, the ratings were huge. Part 1, viewers 44 million. Part 2, 36.8 million. Part 3, 37 million. And Part 4, 41.5 million. So at the Emmy Awards, 89-90, Outstanding Achievement in Casting for a Miniseries or a Special. Outstanding Achievement in Makeup for a Miniseries or Special. Outstanding Achievement in Music Composition for a Miniseries. The score is tremendous. Outstanding Costume Design for a Miniseries or Special. Outstanding Direction in a Miniseries or Special. Outstanding Sound Editing for a Miniseries or Special. And Outstanding Sound Mixing for a Miniseries or Special. Now it lost for hairstyling, art direction, cinematography. Let me smash my head here. Editing, lead actor for Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones. Lead actors for Angelica Houston and Diane Lane. Outstanding miniseries. Lost for Best Supporting Actor for Danny Glover and female for Glenn Headley. And Outstanding Writing in a Miniseries. At the Golden Globes, won Best Miniseries. Best Performance by Actor in a Miniseries. And it lost Best Performance by a Supporting Role, Tommy Lee Jones. And the Best Performance of an Actress Supporting Role for Angelica Houston. I despise you then and I despise you now. So it's so weird here. You would never think Robert Duvall, of all people, would be a sex symbol to the older and the younger femme fatales in the show. But there's no wasted effort in this. It could easily be 8-9 hours. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When I visited Montana, Helena, which is a double over with Legends of the Fall, Lonesome Dove, I think it's been forgotten as the greatest miniseries of the 1980s, and that's my opinion. But it comes down to Gus and Blue Duck. That's all. All the plots are going on because Blue Duck killed some of his buddies or new friends, and the raped Laurie, and eventually in his pursuit of Laurie, and Gus eventually doesn't go all the way to escape. So it's a very sad and very happy movie at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube it's free, but if you want to get the DVD or VHS version, Cabin Fever did it on VHS in the 90s. Hallmark did it on VHS and DVD. Genius Products of Vivendi did it on Blu-ray and the DVD in 2008-2014. Mill Creek did it in 2014-2019. So, the collector's edition can be seen in a widescreen. And according to critics, it gives the movie a whole new life. So, Gus versus Blue Duck, one of the greatest cerebral battles of all time. And you can watch Unforgiven. This is 3 Unforgivens in one. There's so much going on here, but it's like a good Zane Grey or dare I say McMurtry Western. A lot of shit going on here. Boys, Frederic Forrest, I do miss him. And Robert Duvall, they're consistently for last. Oh, geez, this is the late 50s? if he's not great at one of America's greatest actors, he's pretty close. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to spend a quiet afternoon, if you haven't heard of Lonesome Dove, maybe do it like Tommy Lee Jones. He gives kind of an asshole performance like he is in real life. But Duvall, I mean, holy frig. My dear blessed dad, he said, my God, what a good actor. What a good actor. Have a good one. Bye.